Hi, welcome to my channel. Today we will discuss the problem of the story of Solomon. The story begins at Gibeon, the great high place for sacrifices before the temple's construction. Solomon had just secured his throne, eliminating rivals and threats to power. He offered 1,000 burnt offerings, an incredibly generous offering demonstrating his dedication to God, 1 Kings 3:4. And at night the Lord appeared to him in a dream. Ask what I shall give you. A question without trick, a sincere invitation. And Solomon responds with striking maturity for a young man. I am but a little child. I do not know how to go out or come in. Give your servant therefore an understanding mind to govern your people, that I may discern between good and evil. Kings 3:7-9. Notice the humility. I am but a little child, acknowledging inexperience, the awareness of responsibility to govern your people. Not personal ambition, but service. Moral sensitivity. Discern between good and evil. Not just intellect, but ethical wisdom. God responds with joy, because you have asked this, and have not asked for yourself long life or riches, or the life of your enemies, but have asked for yourself understanding to discern what is right. Behold, I now do according to your word. Behold, I give you a wise and discerning mind, so that none like you has been before you, and none like you shall arise after you. 1 Kings 3:11-12. A unique gift, unprecedented in history, and as bonus, as overflow of generosity. I give you also what you have not asked, both riches and honour, so that no other king shall compare with you all your days. 1 Kings 3:13. God gives a package, wisdom plus wealth plus glory, with one condition, and if you will walk in my ways, keeping my statutes and my commandments, then I will lengthen your days. As Kings 3:14. The condition clear, obedience extends blessing. Solomon awakens and understands this was no ordinary dream but divine revelation. He returns to Jerusalem, offers thanksgiving sacrifices, hosts a feast for all servants, and immediately wisdom manifests. The famous judgment about 2 mothers and an infant, 1 Kings 3:16-28, a masterpiece of psychological insight. 2 women, 1 living child, both claiming motherhood, no witnesses. Solomon proposes, divide the living child in 2, and the true mother cries, give her the child. The false one agrees, let it be neither mine nor yours. Decision instant, flawless. And all Israel heard of the judgment that the king had rendered, and they stood in awe of the king, because they perceived that the wisdom of God was in him. 1 Kings 3:28. His administrative wisdom organized the state with unprecedented efficiency. 12 district governors, systematic taxation, developed infrastructure. Judah and Israel were as many as the sand by the sea. They ate and drank and were happy. 1 Kings 4:20. Prosperity, peace, justice. His intellectual wisdom was encyclopedic, and Solomon's wisdom surpassed the wisdom of all the people of the East and all the wisdom of Egypt. He also spoke 3,000 proverbs, and his songs were 1,005. He spoke of trees, from the cedar that is in Lebanon to the hyssop that grows out of the wall. He spoke also of beasts and of birds and of reptiles and of fish. Kings 4:30-33. Botany, zoology, poetry, philosophy, universal genius. His architectural wisdom built the temple, a building of such beauty and magnificence that the Queen of Sheba, seeing it, said, I did not believe the reports until I came and my own eyes had seen it. And behold, the half was not told me. Your wisdom and prosperity surpassed the report that I heard. 1 Kings 10:7. Everything was perfect. Solomon stood at the world's pinnacle and began descending. The first warning subtle. Solomon made a marriage alliance with Pharaoh, king of Egypt. He took Pharaoh's daughter. 1 Kings 3:1. Political marriage. Standard practice in the ancient world for cementing alliances. But Moses' law was clear. You shall not intermarry with them, giving your daughters to their sons or taking their daughters for your sons, for they would turn away your sons from following me. Deuteronomy 7:3-4. Solomon knew this. He was wise. But political logic seemed irrefutable. Egypt is a superpower, alliance critical for security. One Egyptian wife won't hurt. First compromise, first crack in the foundation, then other marriages. King Solomon loved many foreign women, from the nations concerning which the Lord had said to the people of Israel, You shall not enter into marriage with them, neither shall they with you, for surely they will turn away your heart after their gods. 1 Kings 11:1-2. Moabite, Ammonite, Edomite, Sidonian, Hittite women, princesses from all surrounding kingdoms, each one a political treaty, each one a spiritual danger. How did it begin? Gradually. First wife received personal prayer room for her gods. Religious freedom. Second asked the same. Fairness. Third, 10th, 100th. Solomon builds high places, pagan sanctuaries on mountains around Jerusalem. Then Solomon built a high place for Chemosh, the abomination of Moab, and for Moloch, the abomination of the Ammonites. 1 Kings 11:7. Abominations. The Bible doesn't use this word lightly. Chemosh demanded human sacrifices. Molech, children burned alive. Ashtoreth, temple prostitution. And Solomon, the wisest man who knew God personally, built altars for them. King Solomon loved many foreign women. He had 700 wives and 300 concubines, and his wives turned away his heart. 1 Kings 11:1-3. 1,000 women, an astounding number. How is this even possible? Not physiologically. Harems of this size existed among many Eastern kings, but spiritually, each wife brought her gods, each demanded a place for worship, each exerted influence. For when Solomon was old, his wives turned away his heart after other gods, and his heart was not wholly true to the Lord his God, as was the heart of David his father. 1 Kings 11:4. When Solomon was old, not in youth when passion clouds reason. In old age when wisdom should reach its peak. How does a wise man become an idolater? Several stages. First, tolerance. I don't believe in their gods, but I'll allow them to believe. Seems wise, enlightened, politically expedient. Second, participation. I'll go with my wife to her festival so as not to offend. Presence without faith. Social gesture. Third, construction. I'll build her a temple so she doesn't feel like a stranger. Active facilitation of idolatry, albeit for good purposes. Fourth, worship. Solomon went after Ashtoreth and after Milcom. 1 Kings 11:5. Not just present, served. Not just allowed, participated. The mathematics is simple and terrible. One wife turned the heart 1 degree, 10 degrees, 100, 100. 1,000 women, 1,000 gods, 1,000 compromises. And Solomon, possessing divine wisdom, lost it not instantaneously, but drop by drop, compromise by compromise, wife by wife. God doesn't remain silent. And the Lord was angry with Solomon, because his heart had turned away from the Lord, the God of Israel, who had appeared to him twice and had commanded him concerning this thing, that he should not go after other gods. But he did not keep what the Lord commanded. Kings 11:9-10. 2 personal appearances of God, clear warnings, and complete disregard. Sentence pronounced, I will surely tear the kingdom from you and will give it to your servant. 1 Kings 11:11. Not immediately, for David his father's sake, but in his son's time. The kingdom will divide. 10 tribes will break away. From the great empire only tiny Judah will remain. Glory will fade. Peace will give way to wars. Enemies will rise on all sides. Solomon's final years are dark. Enemies who hadn't existed for decades appear. Hadad the Edomite, Rezon the Syrian, Jeroboam, future king of the breakaway tribes. Peace crumbles, prosperity vanishes, and the wisest king writes the bitterest book of the Bible, Ecclesiastes. Vanity of vanities, says the preacher, vanity of vanities, all is vanity. Ecclesiastes 1:2. The man who had everything, wisdom, wealth, glory, pleasures, declares it meaningless. So I turned about and gave my heart up to despair over all the toil of my labours, Ecclesiastes 2:20. He tried everything. I made great works. I built houses and planted vineyards for myself. I had also singers, both men and women. So I became great, and my wisdom remained with me, and whatever my eyes desired I did not keep from them. Then I considered all that my hands had done, and behold, all was vanity, Ecclesiastes 2:4-11. But the book ends with insight. The end of the matter, all has been heard. Fear God and keep his commandments, for this is the whole duty of man, Ecclesiastes 12:13. Lesson learned too late. Wisdom returned, but the kingdom already lost. Why did Solomon ask for wisdom but lose it for the sake of 1,000 wives? Because wisdom without obedience is only information. Knowledge without love for God is only philosophy. Understanding good and evil without choosing good is a curse that makes a person responsible for sin committed while seeing its nature. Solomon didn't lose intellectual wisdom. He remained a genius until the end. But he lost practical wisdom, the ability to apply knowledge to life. He knew idolatry was evil, but chose it for politics, for women, for comfort. The lesson for us is piercing. You can know the Bible by heart and live in sin. You can understand theology and betray God. You can possess spiritual gifts and lose salvation. Wisdom is a gift, not a guarantee. It requires obedience to remain wisdom. Solomon began with God and ended with idols. Began with humility, I am but a little child, and ended with 1,000 wives and altars to Molech. Began asking for ability to discern good and evil, and ended knowing the difference but choosing evil. The tragedy isn't that he didn't know. The tragedy is that he knew and still fell. May his fall be our warning. Wisdom without faithfulness, knowledge without obedience, gifts without love for the giver lead to catastrophe. God gives generously. But he demands an undivided heart, undivided love, unwavering faithfulness. 1,000 wives aren't worth one God, and the wisest king on earth proved this in the bitterest way possible.